5 years ago in 2010, Anthony Jacks returned to his alma mater to take the head coaching job at BB Comer for their football program. Yesterday, after 5 seasons at the helm of BB Comer, Coach Jacks announced his resignation. He joins us this morning. Coach, thanks for taking time. I know it's been a very, very busy 24 hours or so, but appreciate you being here this morning. And
sir.
Why resign at BB Comer?
Well, just, to everything there's a season. You just feel like you get a pulse of the program. You just feel like, at this time they really need some new leadership. That's just, my own personal evaluation, just looking at it. I felt like there's some opportunity there, but, I just feel like what's best for the program right now is for me to just step away.
I know 5 years ago, this was your dream.
Yeah.
To come back and lead your alma mater back to heights that they have known in the past.
Well, that's right. And I don't know how many folks can say at 27, you get the job that you've always kind of had your eye on, and were able to have it for 5 years. I mean, you look back on that and you say, wow, I've already achieved my dream job. Now where do I go from here? But, I felt like we was able to do a lot of good things. We didn't quite end the way I envisioned it, but you look back and in 8 years before I got there, they've won 13 ball games in 8 years. Lost 67. Well, we won 15 in 4 years, and that's not the most outstanding, but it's a big step in the right direction. Made a couple playoff appearances, so. We did do a lot of good things, and I know there's a lot of kids that had a lot of good memories on their high school football days.
BB Comer just finished its season 0-10, and nobody likes to lose, but as a head football coach, you're driven by success and driven by teaching young men about the game of football and about the game of life. And I know there's been some exciting times and a couple of playoffs that BB Comer hadn't been to in a while in that 4 years.
Oh, there's no question about it. 0-10, definitely tough pill to swallow, especially, you can handle that early, but now once you've had a taste of that success, you want to see that steadily improving. And it was a tough year for us. We had some unfortunate things that happened to us throughout this year that caused it. I mean, we were a couple close in a few games to coming out with a win, but for whatever reason, just didn't happen. But that's not really. I mean, I'm not just saying, oh well, we went 0-10 and I'm stepping away. That's not really the reason that I'm leaving. I just I feel like the program needs new leadership, needs new direction. And I'm not just sitting down and quitting because we went 0-10. I'm taking my ball and going home. So still, I love those kids. There's a lot of good kids in that locker room, and I told them a couple of days ago that I was leaving. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. And I was at least thankful when I told them that there wasn't people in the back standing up clapping. I was at least excited to see that. But we had a good hug session and some tears and it was an emotional thing, but it was good to see at least the kids. They care about you, they respond to you, and it's going to be sad to leave those guys behind.
Your resignation was tendered this week, announced to the kids, I think, yesterday. I am applying for that position. I'm calling you, the former head football coach, for a recommendation.
Okay.
What advice would you give to me, or just for someone who is applying for that position as head football coach there?
Well, I think you need to look at the situation. Just you need to understand the situation fully when you get in there. You got to have your list of your questions down, what you think is important in the program, and make sure that aligns up with you. I think the coaching staff, you got to make sure you can get your coaching staff the way you want it.
And that's difficult to do.
It is difficult because it doesn't just line. You can't just be Nick Saban and bring in your 10 guys. It's we've struggled with numbers of coaches. Getting enough coaches to fill all of our positions, and that's just been a struggle for us. And it's just hard to do it without the adequate amount of help. We've relied on some volunteer help and things like that. But there's got to be an English spot or a history spot, and those have to be filled with teachers and that can coach, and doesn't always align correctly. So it's not as easy as calling somebody that you know that's a good coach and bringing them in. They've got to align with what's going on in the school. So, I think you just need to look at it. I think there's some talent there. I think you can win some games there. The infrastructure is just what you're going to have to evaluate and make sure you can get that infrastructure aligned like you need it.
Coach Anthony Jacks, who announced his resignation this week as head football coach of BB Comer, yesterday afternoon announced to his team and to the administration earlier as well. He joins us this morning here on Daybreak. Some highlights other than the 2 playoff entries during your leadership at BB Comer.
Well, you just think back to specific instances. 3 years ago we have come off 2-8 and a 3-7, and we lose to Chillsburg, but we go up to Montevallo and we get down in the second half, and it's that point to where we're here we go again, but all of a sudden something clicked, and we put a drive together with Tyler Holmes and Caleb Duffy and that crew. One of my favorite crews to have coached here, and all of a sudden the kids started believing, and we go down and we are down 18-6, and we come back and we win the game. That was one of the best moments for me because it's a region win, it's an area win, and you were behind and the kids had a chance to quit and they didn't. And all of a sudden, you could just feel the difference in the mentality of the kids is that, hey, we won a game, we're 1-0 in the region, and we went off and beat Tarrant the next week, and then I can't remember who was on the schedule the next week, but anyway, we started out 4-1, so it's and that was just like some magic happening because Comer hadn't been 4-1 in forever. So, you just think back to some players that you coached: Tyler Holmes, Caleb Duffy. I could go on and on about kids that we coached. Isaiah Caldwell. I mean, I could list 100 kids that I really enjoyed coaching, and you just think about some of the individual successes that they had. And, some pride that they can take in some of the good football careers that they had.
You're a protege of former longtime football coach and athletic director Bobby Overton at BB Comer. Coach Overton, known for his discipline.
Yes.
Had a disciplined football team. What would you say to people this morning, Coach Jacks, who would say, Coach Jacks and this staff lost this football team somewhere along the line? How would you address that?
Well, I think a lot of people have their own opinions. I think you can't really evaluate, what you're not there. I think, we definitely had some issues with this team. I mean, I think every year, you've got a different level of kid on your team. I mean, some years you might not have any discipline problems. Some years you might have a lot. I will say this year we had more than our share. And that's unfortunate. But I think if you look at the 20 kids that we ended with, there weren't any discipline. Has
discipline
issues.
changed since your playing days?
Well, I think there is a big difference in the way it was back even since I played. With just the way kids are nowadays. When I played, that's what everybody said about us that. We don't have to work very hard for anything, and everything's kind of given to us. But I think it's even more in the technology age now, where everything is so instant that it's there's so many things that are easy for kids to do that are enjoyable, and football is not one of those things. You have to work at it every day and have that self-discipline every day to go to work, even when it's not easy. And that's what we're trying to teach them about is about life. It's not easy to get up and go to work every single day, but you know what? You got to do it. That's what a man does. A man gets up and goes to work and provides for his family. It's not easy to get up when you're 0-5 to go to practice, but that's what you got to do. So I think those are kind of the main things that we worked on this year, and I think we found out, what our true character was this year.
College, NFL, those levels. Do you see that as a trickle down as some of the things that happen as far as expressing themselves?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's one thing that we had to struggle with all the time is they see something on Saturday or Sunday and they want to kind of do it themselves. We're just the way they want to wear their pads or wear their socks. It's a struggle sometimes to get kids to wear the same socks. You know, they want to wear a different pair of socks than everybody else. You know, it's just a me mentality that you have to, you know, constantly battle today. But you know, that's just part of it, and that's part of our job is to train the kids to get that out of them. And some years are easier than others. Some years are more difficult than others. So
what's next for Coach Jacks?
Don't know yet. I'm for hire, I guess. But I'll be looking for something in football coaching, and I'm gonna finish out the year. I'm gonna coach baseball at Comer, and then you know, we'll see what happens.
Does it necessarily have to be a head coaching job?
No, I'm going to look for whatever the best fit for me and my family. You know, I've talked with my wife, and you know, we're going to put a lot of feelers out there and see what we can get. You know, I got a lot of do some networking with coaches and see what's available, and then we'll make the best decision that's for us.
Cam Newton was quoted as saying a week or so ago that hindsight is 50-50. Mm-hmm. Let's go with hindsight 2020. Okay. Looking back over the last 4 or 5 years or so, some immediate things that come to your mind that you would have liked to have done differently?
Well, you know, if you look, you always look back, you know, kind of evaluate yourself. You try not to look back and second guess yourself, because if you do that, well, you're really going to make yourself miserable, because, I mean, it looks so simple.
We get second guessed enough, don't we?
I'm telling you, you know, it looks so simple when you look back and you say, well, that was dumb, and that was dumb, and that was dumb. You know, but there's several things that you know, you look back and you say, well, I better, you know, experience is the great teacher. You know, and so, I mean, hey, this is my 5th year doing it, and I learned probably more this year than I've learned in the previous 4 years combined. You know, about some things that I should do differently. But you know, like I said, I don't really want to go into the detail of all the things that I feel like I messed up on. But you know, just you know, you wish you could have got your staff exactly like you like it. Mm-hmm. I felt like a couple years ago we had a good staff with Coach Herring, who's at Talladega now, and Coach Stovall. You know, really felt like, you know, we had it going in the right direction, and Coach Herring took the head job at Talladega, and we lost the PE unit, and so Coach Stovall had to move on. But you know, felt like we after 2 years we finally had a good staff. You know, and then you started losing one, when you couldn't get any continuity. I didn't feel like we were ever able to get any continuity in our coaching staff. You know, in the 5 years we had a lot of coaching turnover. You know, I think that really hinders you. If you look at Sylacauga and Coach Griffith over there, I mean, he's been there. They've got most of the same coaches there every year, and that makes a huge difference. You know, because every year you got a new coach, you got to learn something new, mm-hmm. or you know, you got to learn how he has to learn the kids, and then the kids have to learn him. You know, and it just makes you stagnated and not able to reach your full potential. So, yeah. You know, I would say, you know, just not able to get that staff together is kind of the main thing that hindered me.
Finally, this morning we're visiting with Anthony Jacks, the head football coach at BB Comer, who announced his resignation yesterday. It has been said that Anthony Jacks bleeds black and gold. Mm-hmm. What would you say to the alumni of BB Comer and those supporters of BB Comer about the future and about staying the course with this program? Well, you know, I agree with what you said there. I'm still, that's what I told the kids. I'm still a Comer Tiger. I graduated from here, and I want to see it do the very best it can. You know, and I think, you know, it's an honor for me to hold this coaching post. I mean, it's what I always wanted to do. And, you know, I've achieved that. And in these 5 years, these kids they've been a blessing to me. It's been wonderful for me to do it. You know, and I think, you know, the last couple of years, I think we've started to see a lot more community support with our alumni group coming back and getting things kind of in order. I think that is going to be huge. You know, and we need a little bit more support out of people like that, as opposed to just having the parents of the kids, mm-hmm. you know, be supporters. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, and we've got some hardcore, diehard supporters, but we don't have enough of them. You know, we need to get more of those people out there coming to the games, coming to events, doing other things to help the program, because the bones are there for it to be okay. We just got to kind of get them lined up correctly, and you know, get behind whoever this new coach is going to be that's coming in, and give them your full support. I really think, you know, I think the chance of success is there. Being in media for many years, I understand that coaches a lot of times come to go. Anthony Jacks has been at BB Comer now for 5 years. He's a graduate of BB Comer and really supportive of the Tiger program, and he has chosen to step aside. And Coach, thank you for allowing me to be a part of BB Comer during your tenure, and we certainly wish you the very best in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach Anthony Jacks of BB Comer, our guest.